President Trump says the tariffs are due to economic emergency. Consumers can expect to feel price hikes on products from Mexico, like fruits, vegetables, beer, and tequila, and agricultural imports from Canada, like beef, pork, potatoes, and grain. Shoppers in Phoenix prepare for prices to go up at grocery stores.
Working 40, 60 hours a week just to pay for groceries.
Some saying higher costs driven by tariffs would force them to make tough choices.
There are some things I might just have to give up.
These moms even telling us they sometimes make the decision to feed the kids but skip their own meals.
I could barely afford to eat these days.
Man,
It's hard.
Now Arizonans are left to brace.
Tariffs are just a low blow for me personally. I don't see any benefit to them.
Others
I believe in my president.
telling us they just wish tariffs wouldn't hit the American family.
To work just to pay your bills and buy food and groceries is not the American way.
In Phoenix, Jane Caffrey, ABC 15, Arizona.
There's a collective 5-alarm tariff fire among food distributors, and their message is blunt. Now that tariffs are in effect, your cost for food and apparel and things like that will go up because of the Trump tariffs. Target CEO warning consumers could see price hikes within days. Snack giant Mondelez has already raised prices on several products, and Walmart says food price hikes are causing frustration and pain. And then the USDA says food prices, including beef and chicken, will increase by 2.2% this year. Going in the wrong direction.
At this Connecticut supermarket, they're bracing for price hikes.
Everything is more. Everything go up.
With those tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada now in effect.
Now, these are Vancouver.
Okay.
Lots of people grow tomatoes all over the world. So probably if these go up 25% again, we'll have to look for another source. On the other
Stu Leonard Jr. is the president and CEO of Stu Leonard, a family-owned grocery chain on the East Coast with 8 locations. The tariffs making keeping prices low a financial and logistical challenge.
So right now your salmon is $9.99 a pound?
Yeah.
Farm raised from Canada.
Yes, ma'am.
But if we're looking at a 25% tariff, then we're looking at an increase up to $12, $13.
Yes.
He's trying to keep those 25% increases from hitting his customers.
We are a little concerned about what's going on, but we're doing our best. We're talking to the suppliers. We're trying to keep the price down. We are anticipating a higher cost in the next couple days.
Those tariffs on almost all goods, likely to be felt by Americans at the grocery store first.
These are $2 for $5 right now.
Right, 2
right?
for 5.
And these are coming straight from Mexico.
Yeah. This one is tough because I can't source. I can't go to somewhere else and get avocados. I got to raise the price.
You got to raise the price.
I have to. I can't get them anywhere else.
And those price hikes could change buying habits.
So if you're seeing a 25% increase in avocados, for instance, does that mean you're going to be buying less of some of that produce?
Definitely. No question.
And it's not just food, but booze, with prices on beer from Mexico.
Is in the bullseye as far as raising the price 25%. So
And
this
tequila.
is a great seller. I can't buy this anywhere else in the world. I got to go to Mexico.
Set to jump,
Okay.
though those prices may go up only once the product already imported to the U.S. runs out. For Leonard and his business, they're bracing for volatility, unsure how much the trade war will affect prices and for how long.
It's like tariffs is a dartboard.
Yasmin joins us now in studio. So Yasmin, we just heard from Christine before your report.
Yeah.
You were in the grocery store. What are shoppers telling you? Are they already feeling it? Besides eggs, are they seeing it with other items too?
They're not feeling it yet, but there's 2 schools of thought. There's the wait-and-see folks, and then there's folks that are worried. The wait-and-see folks are saying, okay, listen, owners like Stu Leonard are saying we're going to absorb the cost, right? So maybe if there's a 25% hike, they're going to increase it 15%. So we won't absorb all of it, and our prices won't go sky high on things like avocados, tomatoes, salmon, for instance, because Stu Leonard is saying, hey, we can go to Norway. We can get Norwegian salmon versus Canadian salmon. But then there's the folks that are on the fixed incomes, right? I talked to a lot of folks that are retired. They're getting Social Security checks every month, right? A 20% hike, even 15% hike in prices at grocery stores, that's going to cost a lot for them. That's a major hit for them. And they're going to think twice about buying avocados, tomatoes, salmon, and a lot of goods that are coming from these places now.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. News in his gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. As you see, the video went into these Trump tariffs, which tariffs is basically like a levy or a tax that's imposed on these consumers through government. Trump has put, I believe, he's put tariffs on Mexico, Canada, China, and they're retaliating and slapping tariffs back on the U.S., which they're going to pass that tariff or that tax onto the consumer, okay? Because she mentioned some companies may absorb the tax or the tariff, which technically all these companies are able to do it because they've made billions of dollars since they've been in business. But, you know, they're not going to lose out on too much money to make sure that the consumer is okay, because they know that you need certain goods. So therefore, they can continue to raise prices on you and you will continue to buy. All right. So, yeah, man, we're seeing a collapse of the dollar because these tariffs is not going to do nothing more but accelerate the decline of the U.S. dollar, which is soon to default. OK, and that's when all the hell going to break loose, because famine, pestilence, civil war, all these things are literally near the door. All right. So it says Trump's Mexico, Canada tariffs are clearly going to cause inflation, says shipping giant. And we've been speaking on this, man. And I was telling people, I said, people don't understand tariffs, because when he goes into the concept of slapping these tariffs on China and thinking that they're going to play ball, for one thing, you don't own shit. OK, 95% of the goods here in America are outsourced. OK, like avocados, tequila from Mexico. You know, you got Canada with the electricity or with the energy. You know, you got China for your apparel, your shoes, your goods and stuff like that. You know, certain electronics out of Japan. So if you continue to slap tariffs on these countries, they're just going to retaliate, which is all done by design to pretty much bring in a collapse, because Trump knows this. And as a businessman, you would think he would know better. But the reality of it is to push the consumer into a place of oblivion, man, which soon to be hyperinflation. So it says the White House insists tariffs will not bring inflation, which is a lie, but the economic impact of President Donald Trump's tariffs, whether on Mexico, Canada, China, or any nation, is clearly going to be inflationary in the short term. And they're talking about in a matter of days. So, hey, I might have to go out and grab a couple of bottles of Patron and Casamigos to stock up before that shit go up, man. Because, you know, right now it's a pretty reasonable price compared to what it used to be. But it says it's going to be inflationary in the short term, says Charles Van de Steen, president of Maersk, North America. It says tariff retaliation from nations targeted by the U.S. will extend the inflationary pressures, at least over the midterm, said the top executive global shipping giant. It says, but as the result, President Trump's tariffs on Mexico and Canada prepare for higher prices to hit soon. And that is the same message from the shipping giant about the escalating trade war between North American nations. It says, while the White House says inflation is not a concern, it says Maersk's view of the U.S. economy matches that of retailers and trade groups that the new tariffs on Mexico and Canada and retaliatory tariffs from these countries are an it says inflationary threat to the U.S. economy. OK, it says the short term effect of any tariff is clearly inflation, says Charles Van de Steen, president of North America for Maersk, the second largest ocean freight carrier in the world. It says it's inflationary in its essence, he said during an interview at the TPM conference in Long Beach, California, a major annual convention for the logistics industry. But from retailers, including Target, whose CEO said prices could rise within days, as in Target. Target is pretty expensive as it is, man. All right, I don't really shop at Target because it's not like a dire need. You know, and I've never been like a big fan of Target, though I will go there to get certain products. But Target has always been expensive. You know, shit you find at Target, you could find something else. Like if I wanted to go buy a PS5 controller or some shit, I wouldn't go get it for Target. You know what I'm saying? I hit Marketplace, or I go to vintage stock, or if I got to hit Walmart or whatever to get it for a discounted price, I would, because I don't believe in paying $70 for some shit that ain't worth it, you know. But sooner than later, all these places are getting ready to take hits. But it says here on produce, to major business lobbies such as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which says tariffs only raise prices, inflation is expected throughout supply chains and to reach the consumer. And they mentioned that it was going to be like a 2 to 3% increase on beef. And I don't know if she mentioned chicken, but chicken has been expensive as hell for the last 4 years. Hey, you know, shit, brothers, they some chicken connoisseurs, man, in the truth. And chicken has gone up. I mean, to the point we'll go to one of our little restaurants and you want like 6 wings. That should have cost you like $18, man, for 6 punk ass wings. I'm just like, hell no, that ain't worth it. You know, when a chicken dinner used to run you about $7.99, $8.99 for 6, 7 wings, maybe 8. Now wing dinner running you $17, man. And the crazy part about it is that chickens are not rare. Okay, that's one of the most abundantly made animals, you know, because it's the protein, you know, eggs and stuff like that. Hell, eggs is expensive as shit. You know, so people ain't even buying eggs like that no more because they're too expensive. But it says here, at midnight, Trump's 25% tariff on goods from Mexico and Canada, plus a 10% on Canadian energy products and additional 10% on Chinese goods took effect. But overnight, Canada launched its retaliatory tariffs, with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying that there would be 25% tariffs on more than 100 billion of American goods over the course of 21 days. And the crazy part about it is that America think that they can bully other nations into buying. Like, dude, don't nobody need you, man. Okay, do you not understand that you are the biggest consuming nation on the planet Earth? So don't nobody need to really, nobody's being threatened by you, man. And on top of that, you got the US dollar that's getting ready to default. You have BRICS nations, okay? You have these different nations that's succeeding from the dollar. So it's not like putting tariffs on these countries is a real threat because they can be self-sustained without your dollar. Okay, and like I said, this is all in tandem to get you people to fold to when they push the chip. So this is basically the squeeze they putting on people because sooner than later, rent, you know, gas, all this shit, you know. And it says here, overnight, it says American goods over the course of 21 days. But it says the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, which I believe he's a small hat, said retaliatory tariffs will be announced on March 9th. But China announced its new tariffs on U.S. goods, which would start on March 10th. And I believe right now it's March 6th. So 7th, 8th, 9th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the 9th is Sunday, the 10th is Monday. So starting next week. So it says here, as the global trade tariffs add up, it says they expect inflationary impacts will persist over the mid to long term. But the vendor, Steen, said that this expectation is that the effect will ultimately soften. But over the longer term, he said there's a greater uncertainty about tariffs that the reparation of potential supply chains, man. But while the recent survey data commentary form from retailers such as Target, it says has pointed to the strength of the U.S. consumer remains a silver lining in the trade war. Okay, so eventually they're just going to be a default. And this is basically what it is. Prices are not going to come down. Okay, they've been trying to curve it. Even though inflation has come down a little bit, things have pretty much flattened out, like rents. Like here in Kansas City, rents is at an average flat rate of $1,400 a month, which is not affordable. Okay, I mean, it's doable, but it don't have to be. Okay, because people are actually doing it. But overall, before then, rents here was relatively cheap. You know, you can find you a good fucking 3-bedroom house for damn near under $1,000 a month, maybe 8-9 years ago. You know what I'm saying? A little bit sooner than that. But now, since everything is going up, since the time of the pandemic, shit is going up, man. And that was all through design. Okay? So let's go into the precepts real quick, the scriptures. Because the scriptures give us insight as to what's going on. Because right now we're witnessing the judgment of Esau, Edom, and Babylon the Great. All right, so this is the book of Leviticus 26 and 26. And it says here, I'm going to start at verses, 25 is good, but 26, let's just get the point. It says that when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women should bake your bread in one oven, and they should deliver you your bread again by waiting. You should eat and not be satisfied, man. All right. Now, when you go into what they call shrinkflation, you know, when the price of goods are going up, but you're getting less for your buck, or stagflation. You know, like right now, you'll buy a bag of chips and 75% of the bag is nothing more but freaking air. You know, but yet you paying $5 for a bag of organic tortilla chips, but it's all fucking air, you know? Stagflation, shrinkflation. You know, like with the chips, back in the day, they were 4 for $1. Now 2 bags of small chips is fucking $1.09. You know, and back in the day, you was able to get the big bag of Doritos for 99 cents, man. And if you had food stamps, shit, no tax. All right. But it says here, and when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women should bake your bread in one oven, and they should deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye should eat and not be satisfied, man, because the abundance is getting ready to be, cease. Okay, people getting ready to start feeling it. As hey, we are already feeling shit. You see, because like I said, the whole thing with eggs, bread, you know, milk, which I don't drink cow's milk, man. You know, if I do milk, you know, like goat's milk or something like that, or it'd be like almond milk or oat milk, coconut milk or something like that. But I don't fuck with that cow's milk shit. That's not good for you. For those of you that may drink that folly, stay away from it. It's not good. Anyway, let's go to the book of Psalms 105 and 16. And just a couple of precepts I got to go to the point, because people are on edge, man. And when this shit really hits the fan, hey, people, they gonna lose it. Okay, and this when the scriptures goes into people invading one another for the one of all things, man. Because when somebody can't afford fucking food, when beef goes up, chicken goes up, fish, things that they need, basic necessities, clothes, shoes, ain't nobody gonna be spending no money like that. Because remember, as things are going up, the wages are still stagnant. You know? But this is the book of Psalms 105 and 16. And it reads, it says, moreover, he called for the famine upon the land, and he brake the whole staff of bread. Now, this is going into ancient Egypt, but the scriptures tells us that the Most High will bring plagues as he did before. You see, so right now the Most High is getting ready to smite this food system, this supply chain system. And we've been seeing off and on supply halts since the time of the pandemic, man, back in 2020, when they supplied those, when those supply chains, they pretty much came to a halt. And shit was sitting out on freight liners for months. And quiet be kept, you know, it's still some shit out there, you know, according to some sources. You see, but they just not reporting on a lot of stuff. And on top of that, dock strikes. It's going to be bad out here. Isaiah 3:1, it says, for behold, the Lord and the Lord of hosts doth take away from Jerusalem and Judah the stay of the staff and the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, man. Right? Because eventually, like I said, there will be a famine here. And when a famine comes, and that's when people are going to start to evade one another. And then cannibalism sets in, and then before you know it, all hell is breaking loose, and people are going to be in a zombified state because they're going to lack the basic necessities that they need. You know, to the point that a bar of soap may run your ass $50 just to, you know, take a bath, you know. And all this is coming on Lord's will. It all comes on Trump's watch. All right, like he was promising, oh yeah, we're going to get prices down, and, you know, we spent billions of dollars, you know, all that folly he talks. Nah, bro, he's been lying to you people, man. He's set up to do a job, okay? And he's to bring in a digital system. And that's what this is all about at the end of the day, to push you people over the edge to opt into this new MOTB system. All right. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel 4:16. And it reads, it says here, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they should eat bread by weight and with care, and they should drink water by measure and with astonishment, right? Because, you know, like I'm saying, like now, you know, you got to make food stretch. All right. Back in the day, shit, $100 will buy your ass a whole month supply of food. Now, $100 won't even give you a loaf of bread, some eggs, some milk. That's already $60 right there. 2 plastic bags, another $15, and a bag of chips. That's $20 right there. You just spent $100 and more on 4 fucking items. And you got to pay to use the fucking shopping cart, man. It's a joke, but not really, you know, because, hey, in Chicago, they charge taxes depending on what store you go to. It's called a bag tax. And last time I noticed, it was 10 cents, and it could have quadrupled since then. Hell, Aldi's been doing it since the 90s. They'll charge you for bags, man. And they'll charge you a quarter to use the buggies and shit, but you get the money back, you know. But it says here that they may want bread and water and be astonished with one another and consume away for their iniquity. So it's ultimately judgment, okay? Because the Most High has had it with the pride of you demons here in Babylon, man, all right? Because, see, the American people, they feel too entitled, okay? They feel like they're entitled to everything because they've been told a poorly generated lie, all right, to make them believe that they have some sense of entitlement over other people when basically everything you got is through stolen means, all right? So this is the book of Ezekiel 5:15. It says here, so it should be a reproach and a taunt and an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee. And when I shall execute judgments in thee in anger and in fury and in furious rebukes, I, the Lord, have spoken it. So the Lord has predestined judgment. And even though this is talking about Israel, but you got most of the Jakes over here in Babylon, man. Okay, that's under the so-called white man. And like the Apostle Tahar said, Jacob's trouble going to be Edom's trouble too. Okay, because the scriptures say that the hour of temptation will come upon the entire world. Okay, so it ain't going to just be Jake. Everybody is through process of elimination or what you call through collateral damage. Other people are going to get fucked up too. All right, because it ain't only going to affect Jake, but it's going to affect Esau and his minions as well. And it says, and when I shall send upon them evil arrows of famine, because this will lead to a famine eventually, which shall be their destruction, in which I send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread. So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, have spoken it. And as I mentioned, this is talking about Israelites, but Israelites dwell here in Babylon, man. All right, so judgment is going to hit Babylon. Okay, because the average person, like I mentioned, hey, we all feeling the squeeze. You know, wages are stagnant, but shit is going up. Hell, I got to move this year, you know what I'm saying, and finding a place. I've looked at several places, but, you know, I mean, they within them, you know, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I'm going to have to pay a little bit more money, you know what I'm saying, to move. And, you know, it is what it is. But none of this shit is really reasonable at the end of the day because these corporations are benefiting off people's hard work and labor, you know, while they're reaping the benefits. Like I said, they're pushing a tax on the people, all right? Because Trump ain't going to tax his fucking billionaire buddies, man. When they should be the ones that's taking a hit, but they're not. This is why, hey, it don't bother them to do this because they're not affected by it. Like, Trump ain't going to be affected by no fucking tariffs, man. All right? Trump can afford a goddamn carton of eggs. Okay? Trump can afford a fucking, I don't know. He can afford whatever he wants to afford. All right? It's you people that's on edge. You can barely pay a damn water bill and a light bill without going into debt or without being an eviction away from being on the street, man. You know? But it says here, Ezekiel 4 and, what is it? Ezekiel 4 and 13. And it says, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then I will stretch out my hand upon it, and I will break the staff of bread, and I will send famine upon it, and I will cut off man and beast from it, okay? So this is where we at. The Lord said enough is enough. All right? These people, they're through. All right? Hey, God 1 and start at 6, it says here, ye have sown much and bring in little. You goddamn right, you know? Like the man said, 40 to 60 hours a week just to afford freaking groceries, man. Like, should nobody be have to spend damn near $600-700 a month to feed their families, man? Okay, especially when the food is totally poisoned. And the thing is, it ain't the fact that the food is getting expensive. The purchasing power of the dollar is declining, and that's what we're seeing, a decline of the U.S. dollar. Okay, so they give you bad ingredients, less food, and you spending more money. And this is prophesied in the scriptures. But it says, you have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. Yeah, like I mentioned. Hey, you stretching for food, man. You got to make shit stretch. You know, so, hey, it's probably wise for you brothers out there to learn how to store food properly, man. You know, understand temperatures and, you know, down cooling time and when to leave things out and what to put in. You know, like if I make a dish, I'll let it cool down for a couple hours and I'll put, you know, if I'm going to eat immediately that same night or the next day, I'll put a portion in the refrigerator because I know I can eat it relatively quick and then I'll put the rest of the shit in the freezer. Like I made some wings last week, and I made quite a bit. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat some of these, and then the rest of them I'll put in the freezer so I can unthaw, you know. And I put them like in these glass seal containers, because that way, you know, I ain't just throwing away money. Because in this fucking place, bro, you know, it's all about spending. But it reads, and it says here, ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. It says, ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes, man. And when you go into the New Living Testament, when Yahushua was telling them whose face was on the money, Yahushua said it. He said that, do kings put taxes on other kings, roughly paraphrasing it? No, okay? They tax the people that's under them. So Trump's billionaire buddies, they ain't got to worry about picking up the slack. Okay, they can afford bananas and eggs and all that shit bread. You can't. And it's a coincidence, or it's not even a coincidence, but it's surprisingly shocking that the American people have not rose up to revolt against this system yet. It's just like, what the fuck are you people doing? Okay, they got you where they want you, and you still are just lackadaisical. Oh, it's going to get better. Okay. Trump was y'all last hope, and he's fucking up horribly. He's doing worse than this nigga Biden, man. All right, and Biden was a complete demon. You know? So, let's go here. One more precept. And I end it. I think the point is being made. Revelation 6. And I'm going to start at verses 5. And it says here, when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard the voice of the midst of the four beasts, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay? So yeah, man, your purchasing power is not having that much power, okay? The dollar is getting weaker, and this is all being done by design to collapse this dollar so they can bring in this digital system. Okay, they got to get people up in arms first to get them to fight for desperation, so therefore they can push this shit on them and get everybody C-hipped. And that just, you know, my opinion, but we'll see how it goes. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to you. How about you, how shy? Lord, is where you were edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.